There's a moment that many capable women experience where things start to feel harder than they used to. Even though you're still showing up, still doing all the right things, still holding everything together, the same workload feels heavier. Energy isn't as reliable as it once was, and the thought that often follows is, why does it feel this hard? It's Michelle here from Personalised Health and Wellbeing Solutions. Hello, welcome. Today I would like to talk about that moment because many women experience it, but they don't always have the language for what's happening. What's happening is nothing dramatically wrong, but something that's noticeably different. And often the first response is to take action, trying to get back on track, tightening up routines, being more disciplined. But what's often happening at this stage is not a motivation problem. It's a capacity shift, a biological shift. Your capacity is influenced by your nervous system. And your nervous system is constantly responding to the conditions around you, the pace of your day, how frequently you're interrupted, the number of decisions that you're making, the emotional tone and the heaviness of your responsibilities, the amount of recovery that your system is actually getting. When those conditions stay elevated for long periods of time, your system adapts, and that comes with a cost. So you might notice things like your energy starts to dip at different places during the day. You might feel more easily irritated. Your sleep might feel lighter and less restorative. Now, these are easy signals to dismiss, and many women assume they just need to push a little harder. But over time, those signals become much more consistent. Your focus becomes less reliable and takes a lot more effort. Your recovery takes longer. Your tolerance for things shifts. And that's often the point where women start to question themselves in that, why does this feel harder than I think it should, than it used to? Why can't I keep up the way that I used to? But often nothing is actually wrong. Your nervous system has simply been carrying the load for longer than it was capable of. And it's beginning to send you signals that it needs help. And this is what I often refer to as the early stage of a biological tipping point. Not burnout, not breakdown, but a moment where your system can no longer compensate in the same way. And this matters because what you do next really matters. Most women will respond by increasing their effort, but that increase in effort increases pressure, which increases load, and load will actually reduce your capacity, and the cycle continues. What your nervous system actually needs at this point is not more intensity. What it needs is more rhythm. Consistent sleep timing, clear transitions between work and rest, moments where your system can genuinely downshift. When your rhythm stabilizes, your nervous system stops bracing. And when it stops bracing, energy becomes more accessible again. Now, the process isn't dramatic. Most women who have been through it don't describe it as a sudden breakthrough. They describe it as something much more quiet. Things like, I just feel more like myself again. And that's often the goal, not to become someone new, but to restore steadiness and reliability and be able to count on yourself again. Now, if this conversation is resonating, we'll be exploring the concept much more deeply in our upcoming workshop. And during the workshop, we'll be walking through why this tipping point happens, how to recognize it as early as possible, and the shifts that will help restore sustainable energy. So if you've been noticing that things feel harder than they used to and wondering why, you're very welcome to join us. The link is in the caption to this post. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week.